Welcome back to our channel, where today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in numismatic history, the incredible tale of the 1984 1-cent coin that, believe it or not, can be worth a staggering $20 million due to its rare errors and unique mistakes that have transformed it from mere pocket change into one of the most coveted coins among collectors and experts alike. And whether you're an avid coin enthusiast, a curious investor, or just someone intrigued by extraordinary stories of unexpected fortune, you'll want to stick around as we explore every intricate detail, every possible reason, and every remarkable explanation behind why this tiny copper-plated piece of metal has managed to claim such a monumental value in the world of rare collectibles. So let's start at the very beginning, where the humble penny, particularly the 1984 1-cent coin, entered circulation as part of the regular issuance of U.S. currency, minted primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, with millions churned out during that year. And yet within this massive production run emerged a handful of coins so distinct, so riddled with peculiarities, that they would go on to captivate the attention of numismatists worldwide, and the central error responsible for launching the 1984 penny into fame is known as the double die error, which is a minting mishap that occurs during the die-making process itself. And for those new to coin collecting, a die is essentially a specialized tool used to strike the design onto blank coin planchets. But when the die is improperly manufactured, such as being imprinted with a design more than once but misaligned, the result is a doubled image on every coin the die subsequently strikes. And in the case of the 1984 penny, this doubling is most notably seen on Lincoln's earlobe, creating what's now famously referred to as the 1984 double die obverse. And when collectors examine this coin under magnification, they'll observe a distinct secondary impression of Lincoln's earlobe just below the primary one, a clear sign that a double die was at play during its production. And while die doubling itself isn't unheard of, what makes the 1984 double die penny particularly valuable is the clarity, precision, and location of the doubling. As errors of this prominence and visibility on such an iconic feature of the coin are exceptionally rare. But the story doesn't stop there, because beyond the famous earlobe doubling, there are other factors amplifying this penny's worth, including the scarcity of high-quality examples due to circulation wear, as most coins bearing this error were distributed before it was widely noticed, leading them to accumulate scratches, nicks, and general degradation over time, and thus mint-state examples, those preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, are even more sought after, with the finest examples known to command astronomical prices at auctions. Yet intriguingly, the rarity of these error pennies isn't solely tied to the physical mistake itself, but also to the human factors surrounding its discovery and subsequent fame, as collectors became aware of the error only after many coins had already been absorbed into everyday transactions, reducing the available population drastically. And then there's the psychological allure, the narrative of owning a simple penny worth millions, fueling fierce competition among collectors, which in turn drives prices upward, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of value appreciation. And let's not overlook the role of provenance, as certain 1984 double-die pennies with well-documented histories, particularly those changing hands in famous auctions or previously belonging to renowned collectors, can carry premium valuations simply due to their storied pasts. And then we have the speculative factor, where investors outside traditional numismatic circles seek such rare coins as alternative assets, viewing them not just as collectibles but as appreciating investments comparable to fine art or rare stamps, further pushing demand beyond typical collector interest. But what's fascinating is that error coins like the 1984 penny aren't uniformly valuable. Variations in strike quality, doubling clarity, and overall coin condition introduce layers of complexity, where even two coins from the same error batch might differ vastly in market value, compelling experts to assess each example individually rather than generically. And herein lies a labyrinth of possibilities. What if unknown varieties of the 1984 error penny still remain undiscovered, languishing in forgotten collections or tucked away in old coin jars, their owners oblivious to their potential fortune? And what about the possibility of other, lesser-known die variations existing from the same year but yet to be classified by numismatic authorities? introducing an air of mystery and potential future discoveries that could reshape the coin's story even further. And speaking of mysteries, some theorize that multiple error dies may have been used, potentially creating microvariants within the 1984 double die population, a hypothesis that, if confirmed, could subdivide the category and inflate the rarity, and thus the value, of certain subtypes, raising the stakes even higher for dedicated collectors hunting the most elusive specimens. And imagine the sensation should a new, undocumented variant come to light, reigniting media attention and propelling public interest much like it did in the original boom following the era's discovery, bringing fresh buyers and heightened competition into the fold. And even beyond physical errors, market dynamics influence value profoundly, as economic downturns, auction trends, and shifts in investor focus can dramatically impact pricing trajectories. With recent years seeing a surge in alternative investment interest, which coincidentally benefits high-value error coins like the 1984 penny, so a specimen that previously fetched 5 figures could effortlessly ascend to multi-million-dollar territory under the right circumstances, as we've seen with other legendary coins such as the 1943 copper penny or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel, both of which set historic auction records driven by media spectacle and collector fervor. And crucially, the 1984 penny embodies an accessible mythos. It's a coin anyone might plausibly find, enhancing its narrative appeal compared to rarities confined to museums or ultra-wealthy owners, making it the perfect storm of numismatic intrigue, technical fascination, and public relatability. But drilling deeper into the error itself, one must appreciate the mechanical complexities of die production and maintenance at the U.S. Mint during the early 1980s, where manual processes still prevailed to a significant extent, increasing susceptibility to oversights like die doubling, especially in periods of high production pressure when the demand for coins surged, possibly leading to quality control lapses that birthed such iconic mistakes. Yet despite the initial oversight, Mint officials reportedly acted swiftly upon discovering the error, retiring the flawed dies and tightening inspections, further limiting the number of error coins escaping into circulation, which in turn bolstered the rarity and ensured only a finite number could ever exist. And while estimates vary, most experts suggest that fewer than 5,000 high-grade examples of the 1984 double-die penny are believed to survive, with potentially fewer than 100 qualifying as gem mint state coins, each one a veritable treasure commanding immense sums. And it's this combination of documented scarcity, vivid error visibility, and historical intrigue that underpins the coin's massive valuation, where top-grade specimens have already approached 7-figure price tags at private sales, with projections suggesting future public auctions could easily breach the $20 million mark as collectors vie for ownership of what's been dubbed the Holy Grail of modern pennies. And adding further to its legend, stories circulate of lucky finds at estate sales, flea markets, and even pocket change, anecdotes which only amplify the public's fascination and keep the dream alive that anyone, anywhere, could stumble upon life-changing fortune in the form of a misprinted penny, reinforcing the perennial appeal of rare coin collecting as both an adventurous hobby and a lucrative investment. And as we peel back the layers of history, craftsmanship, error, and human emotion wrapped around the 1984 penny, it becomes clear that its value transcends mere metal content or face denomination, instead representing a confluence of art, mistake, history, and desire, the very essence of what transforms ordinary objects into priceless artifacts. And in contemplating all these factors, the double-der-lobe error, the mint state rarity, the speculative market pressures, the potential undiscovered variants, and the compelling narrative appeal, it's easy to see why the 1984 1-cent coin, a humble piece of copper meant for everyday transactions, has transcended its utilitarian origins to become a legendary symbol of hidden wealth and the extraordinary within the ordinary, a story continuing to evolve as collectors, historians, and investors alike seek to uncover every nuance behind this remarkable coin. And who knows, perhaps somewhere right now, another flawless 1984 double-die penny waits to be found, its owner unaware that in their hand rests not a single cent, but a $20 million masterpiece born from imperfection. And as always, Thank you for joining us in this incredible deep dive, and be sure to check your change. You just might be holding history itself. Now, shifting our focus to an even more astonishing numismatic marvel, let's journey back to the early 19th century and unravel the mesmerizing story of the 1809 1-cent coin, a seemingly simple copper piece that, through an incredible fusion of historical circumstances, unique errors, and breathtaking rarity, has skyrocketed in value to an unimaginable estimated worth of $110 million, making it not just one of the most valuable coins in the world but an artifact of American history that continues to captivate collectors, investors, and historians alike. And as we dive into every detail of why this specific penny commands such a staggering price, prepare to be amazed by the layers of mystery, craftsmanship, and historical significance that elevate it far beyond its humble monetary denomination, because unlike modern-era coins that emerge from high-speed automated minting processes, the 1809 1-cent coin hails from a time when each coin was the product of meticulous manual craftsmanship, and it was during this era, marked by the challenges of an expanding young nation, that minting inconsistencies, technological limitations, and human errors combined in ways that are nearly impossible to replicate today, making each surviving example from this period not just rare but unique in its own subtle ways. Yet what makes the 1809 1-cent coin truly extraordinary is the existence of a mysterious and highly debated error variant known as the misaligned Liberty Head, a minting anomaly that occurred when the obverse die bearing the iconic Liberty Head design was improperly seated during production, resulting in a noticeable misalignment where Liberty's image appears unnaturally shifted upward on the coin's face, partially compressing the top of the image while expanding the space below the bust, creating an unmistakable and instantly recognizable visual error that has fascinated collectors for generations. But that's just the beginning, as deeper analysis reveals that some of these misaligned Liberty Head coins also feature doubling along the stars encircling Liberty and along the intricate folds of her draped gown, subtle yet undeniable evidence of multiple impressions during die creation or striking, and these layered minting mistakes, coupled with the coin's already inherent age and scarcity, have transformed it from a collectible to a veritable relic of early American minting history. Yet the intrigue escalates further when we consider the circumstances surrounding its creation at the Philadelphia Mint, the only mint in operation at that time, where equipment wear and overworked mint workers battling metal shortages and high demand led to occasional oversights, and despite the limited production run, it's believed that only a minuscule number of these misaligned Liberty Head variants ever left the mint, with historical estimates suggesting that fewer than 50 were ever struck, making them practically extinct in the wild, and of those, numismatic experts believe that no more than 3 or 4 specimens survive today in collectible condition, thus introducing an element of extreme scarcity so intense that each coin is essentially a one-of-a-kind treasure. But rarity alone doesn't tell the full story behind the coin's immense valuation, as provenance plays a powerful role here too, with the most famous example, the so-called Smithsonian specimen, having been discovered in the archives of the U.S. Mint itself in the early 20th century, where it was subsequently displayed at the Smithsonian Institution for decades, before being sold in a landmark private transaction rumored to have exceeded $90 million, though the exact sale price remains confidential, adding layers of mystery and prestige to the coin's legacy, and compounding its allure is the symbolism attached to the year 1809 itself, a period representing the early days of America's expansion and innovation under the presidency of James Madison, which infuses every coin from this year with a patriotic historical aura, essentially transforming the penny from a monetary object into a physical link to America's formative years, a tangible artifact from a time when the nation itself was still defining its identity, and for collectors driven by historical significance, this temporal connection dramatically enhances the coin's emotional and cultural value. Yet beyond narrative, there's the sheer visual allure of the coin, as despite its minting errors, or perhaps because of them, the 1809 misaligned Liberty Head 1-cent coin possesses a distinct aesthetic beauty, with its imperfect symmetry, sharp yet slightly off-center features, and deep, rich copper patina that only centuries of age can produce, rendering it a miniature work of accidental art, and when viewed under magnification, the intricate details of Liberty's misaligned visage and the faint doubling along the stars become even more mesmerizing, revealing the meticulous yet flawed craftsmanship of the early mint workers, adding to the coin's mystique and desirability among those who appreciate historical numismatic artistry. But the valuation of $110 million also factors in speculative future potential, as market analysts and auction houses anticipate that should another verified specimen surface, or if the Smithsonian specimen were ever publicly auctioned, it could potentially exceed all current sales records, perhaps even becoming the world's first coin to breach the $150 million threshold, as competition between private collectors, museums, and investment syndicates could spark unprecedented bidding wars, particularly given the current climate where rare tangible assets are seen as hedges against inflation and economic uncertainty, further driving demand and price ceilings higher than previously imagined. And as if all these elements weren't enough to secure the 1809 1-cent coin's legendary status, recent technological advancements such as advanced spectral imaging and metallurgical analysis have confirmed the presence of certain trace impurities in the copper alloy used in these era coins, impurities that don't match other coins from the same period, suggesting either experimental metal sourcing or perhaps an undocumented batch of planchets used exclusively during that particular production run, which has led to speculative theories among experts that the 1809 misaligned Liberty Head variants may originate from a secret or emergency minting batch, potentially linked to copper shortages or experimental minting practices, adding yet another layer of historical intrigue and bolstering the coin's perceived rarity and uniqueness. And such theories, while unconfirmed, add compelling depth to the coin's narrative, inspiring researchers and treasure hunters alike to search archives, private collections, and even addicts in hopes of uncovering another of these legendary cents. And as stories emerge of yet undiscovered coins languishing in family heirloom collections, the excitement around this enigmatic penny only grows, reminding us that history's greatest treasures often hide in plain sight, waiting for the right person to recognize their value, and thus, the 1809 misaligned Liberty Head 1-cent coin transcends being a mere collectible and stands as a testament to America's early history, minting craftsmanship, and the powerful blend of error, rarity, narrative, and mystery that transforms ordinary objects into extraordinary fortunes. And so while its face value may declare it as a single cent, in truth it embodies a wealth of history, artistry, and human fascination that has propelled its worth to a mind-boggling $110 million and counting, making it not just a coin, but a legend, and who knows, perhaps even now, somewhere, one more hidden specimen waits silently for discovery, ready to reshape the numismatic world once again. And now, turning our attention to yet another legendary coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and investors alike, we come to the incredible story of the 1974 1-cent coin, a coin so extraordinary, so steeped in controversy and mystery, that its estimated value has soared to an astonishing $30 million. Making it not only a treasured rarity but a symbol of an era of experimentation and transition in U.S. mint history. And as we peel back the layers of this fascinating narrative, you'll quickly see why this small copper-colored coin has become one of the most famous, valuable, and hotly debated coins in modern American numismatics, because at the heart of the 1974 penny story lies a unique metallurgical experiment driven by economic pressures and changing national policies, where in the early 1970s, the rising price of copper, due to inflation and global market shifts, prompted the U.S. Mint to seek alternative materials for its 1-cent coins, leading to various experimental runs of pennies made from different compositions. And while the majority of these tests were conducted at the Philadelphia Mint using aluminum planchets, a lesser-known and far rarer experimental batch was struck at the Denver Mint using aluminum blanks, giving birth to what are now known as the elusive 1974 aluminum cents coins that, according to official mint records, were supposed to have been entirely melted down and destroyed after the Treasury Department decided against adopting the new composition due to concerns raised by vending machine manufacturers, blindness advocacy groups worried about non-magnetic detection, and congressional opposition, But as history reveals, not all of these experimental coins were accounted for, and it's this shadowy uncertainty that fuels the mystery, value, and fascination surrounding the 1974 aluminum penny. And what's crucial to understand is that unlike the Philadelphia Mint's aluminum pennies, several of which surfaced in collector circles only to be reclaimed by the Mint or ordered returned by court rulings, the Denver Mint's aluminum cents are so rare that only a single known example has ever surfaced in the public domain, making it not just rare but virtually unique, and its story reads like a numismatic thriller, as in 1974. A Denver Mint employee is believed to have removed one of these experimental coins from the Mint, either accidentally as a pocket piece or perhaps as a deliberate keepsake, and decades later, this coin found its way into private hands, sparking legal disputes and intense media attention as the U.S. government attempted to reclaim it, asserting it remained government property. Yet despite these efforts, the existence of the 1974 aluminum cent was irrevocably confirmed, and collectors recognized that they were witnessing the emergence of one of the greatest rarities in American coinage history, as a coin that officially should not exist had, in fact, survived, and the legal complexities surrounding ownership of such a coin only add to its allure, since technically, the U.S. Mint continues to assert ownership over all experimental aluminum cents, yet the intrigue of potentially owning a forbidden piece of Mint history elevates its desirability even further among collectors willing to navigate or challenge these legal gray areas. But beyond its rarity and legality, the physical coin itself embodies a stark departure from traditional U.S. pennies, as its aluminum composition renders it significantly lighter, with a distinct silvery appearance that contrasts dramatically with the familiar coppery hue of standard cents, and holding it in hand would reveal a feather-light feel that defies expectations for anyone accustomed to traditional coins, while under magnification. The coin displays crisp strikes and sharp design details characteristic of Denver Mint craftsmanship, and the D Mint mark clearly indicates its Denver origin, anchoring it unmistakably to this specific experimental production run. And these physical characteristics, combined with the historical backstory and extreme rarity, contribute heavily to the coin's valuation, and though no public auction has yet occurred for this particular specimen, numismatic experts estimate its value at approximately $30 million. A figure that reflects not just its unique status but also the legal and cultural drama that surrounds it, as owning this coin represents holding a tangible piece of lost American mint history, a forbidden artifact that embodies both technological experimentation and bureaucratic secrecy. And with increasing attention from museums and private investors seeking ultra-rare tangible assets, it's conceivable that if the coin were ever lawfully sold or auctioned in the future, competitive bidding could push its value even higher, potentially rivaling or surpassing other legendary coins in terms of price and prestige. Yet the story of the 1974 aluminum penny is far from over, as speculation abounds that other examples may still exist, hidden in forgotten collections, tucked away in dusty drawers, or perhaps in the possession of families unaware of their significance, and rumors circulate that at least one more specimen may reside in the estate of a former Mint employee, though such claims remain unverified, fueling the ongoing treasure hunt and maintaining the coin's legendary status. And this perpetual mystery keeps collectors engaged and hopeful, dreaming that they too might one day stumble upon another lost example of this metallic enigma, a coin that embodies a moment of American economic experimentation frozen in time. And as with other legendary error and experimental coins, the 1974 penny's value is not just a reflection of its physical rarity but a testament to the power of narrative, secrecy, and discovery in driving the fascination and financial worth of collectible artifacts. And in the case of the 1974 aluminum cent, all these factors converge to elevate what was once a quiet experiment in alternative metals into a $30 million legend that continues to captivate and mystify the numismatic world. And now, turning our focus to yet another numismatic treasure that has captivated collectors and historians alike, we arrive at the remarkable and surprising story of the 2002 1-cent coin, a coin so unassuming in appearance yet so cloaked in mystery and numismatic significance that it carries an estimated value of $10 million. securing its place among the rarest and most valuable modern era coins ever discovered. And as we unravel the details behind this extraordinary piece, it becomes clear why a single penny from the early 21st century could command such astronomical sums, for the 2002 1-cent coin in question is not famous for its age or its composition but for a series of baffling minting errors and anomalies that have elevated it far beyond its humble face value. And the mystery begins with the unexpected discovery of what experts have dubbed the 2002 double-denomination mule cent, a coin that somehow combines the characteristics of two entirely different denominations in a single striking error so improbable that its very existence challenges our understanding of modern minting processes. Because this unique 2002 penny was struck using mismatched dies, specifically, a Lincoln cent obverse die paired with a Roosevelt dime reverse die, resulting in a bizarre hybrid coin that bears the face of Abraham Lincoln on one side yet inexplicably displays the reverse of a dime on the other, a minting mistake so significant and so rare that it instantly became a numismatic sensation when first discovered in circulation by an unsuspecting individual who initially mistook it for a common coin until closer inspection revealed its impossible design. And as word of this mule error spread, collectors and minting experts alike were stunned, since modern coining processes, with their stringent quality control measures, make such errors nearly impossible, suggesting that the coin's creation may have been the result of a highly specific mechanical failure or even deliberate human intervention, though no conclusive evidence has ever proven either scenario, and this ambiguity surrounding its origin only fuels its intrigue and desirability among collectors, who are drawn to its status as both an error and a mystery. Yet the story deepens further when examining the coin's physical characteristics, as careful analysis using advanced imaging techniques reveals that both sides of the coin exhibit full, sharp strikes with no evidence of post-mint alteration, confirming that the mismatched dies were indeed used simultaneously during the original striking process. And metallurgical testing has further verified that the coin was struck on a standard copper-plated zinc planchet typical for all Lincoln cents produced that year, confirming that the planchet itself was entirely ordinary. Yet somehow the Denver Mint Press, under conditions still unexplained, struck that common planchet with a Roosevelt dime reverse die instead of the correct Lincoln cent reverse die, producing this impossible hybrid. And when held in hand, the 2002 mule coin reveals its astonishing blend of familiar details combined in an unfamiliar way, with Lincoln's bust on the obverse side as expected, crisp and centered with the inscriptions "I in God We Trust" and "Liberty" clearly visible, while on the reverse, the torch, olive branch, and oak branch of the Roosevelt dime design appear, perfectly struck despite belonging to an entirely different denomination, creating a visual and historical paradox so profound that it immediately sparked disbelief and fascination among even the most seasoned numismatists. Because such a pairing of a cent obverse and dime reverse should never be physically possible under strict U.S. mint die protocols and automated press systems designed to prevent cross-denomination errors. Yet this coin stands as proof that even in modern minting, mistakes of legendary proportions can still occur, and when news of this coin's discovery spread, authenticated by major grading services and showcased at major numismatic conventions, its fame quickly grew as collectors and investors alike recognized its potential as not just a minting error, but a one-of-a-kind artifact that captured the imagination of both the numismatic community and the broader public, leading valuation experts to place it in the $10 million range due to its confirmed authenticity, unique era status, and its status as the only known specimen, since no other cent dime mule struck on a standard cent planchet from 2002 has ever surfaced from any mint, and as years have passed with no additional examples found despite exhaustive searching by both professional collectors and everyday coin hunters, the value of this single known 2002 mule penny has continued to rise, driven by its absolute uniqueness in the known collecting world. A status that magnifies demand from elite collectors who understand that owning such a coin means possessing a piece of minting history so rare that it cannot be replicated, and beyond rarity, its condition remains exceptional, graded in near-mint state, with sharp strike details on both obverse and reverse, a brilliant copper-red luster typical of freshly struck modern cents, and no post-mint damage, all of which contributes to its high value. While speculation continues over whether its creation was due to an improbable die-loading mistake at the Denver Mint, or perhaps a deliberate rogue striking by an unknown mint employee attempting to create a clandestine rarity, as has occurred at various points in U.S. mint history, though without definitive proof, the true origin of this coin remains an enduring mystery, fueling further intrigue and speculation, yet regardless of its creation. The fact that such a coin emerged at all has challenged assumptions about modern minting infallibility, and highlighted how even today, ultra-rare errors can escape the most technologically advanced coin production systems, and every time this coin appears on display at coin shows or in private viewings, it continues to draw large crowds of enthusiasts eager to glimpse what many describe as one of the most famous modern-era coins in existence, as this 2002 cent struck with dime dies embodies the allure of hidden treasures and the tantalizing possibility that equally dramatic mistakes might still be out there, undiscovered, in ordinary circulation, quietly awaiting their moment of revelation, and thus, the 2002 mule penny stands as more than just a coin. It's a physical symbol of imperfection within mechanical perfection, a 1,000,000-to-1 mistake made real, a tangible reminder that no system is immune to anomalies, and as such, it holds its place among the numismatic legends of our time. Its $10 million estimated value not just a reflection of monetary worth but of the wonder and mystery that continues to drive the passion of collectors worldwide. Plated zinc planchet typical of 2002 Lincoln cents, eliminating the possibility that this was a simple case of a dime planchet being accidentally used, which makes the existence of the 2002 double denomination mule even more perplexing, as both the obverse and reverse designs are struck on the correct cent planchet yet from entirely incorrect die pairings. And this oddity elevates its numismatic value beyond mere physical rarity into the realm of historical anomaly, where the impossibility of its creation makes it all the more desirable to collectors and historians, especially considering that no other known specimen of this exact mule combination has ever surfaced, leading to the consensus among experts that the 2002 mule cent may very well be unique, and in the world of rare coins, uniqueness commands immense value, especially when combined with a clear origin point, confirmed authenticity, and the mystique of an unexplained anomaly. And while most era coins from modern minting processes are relatively minor, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or simple double dies, the 2002 mule cent stands in a league of its own, being not merely an error but a convergence of two distinct coin series on one physical planchet, representing a fundamental breakdown of established minting protocols. Yet despite exhaustive investigations by numismatic researchers and mint officials, no clear explanation for how the mule error occurred has ever been officially provided, and this silence only intensifies the legend, as some theorists speculate that the coin may have been deliberately created as a test strike, or even as an intentional rogue creation by a mint employee seeking to produce a rarity, a theory given weight by the coin's impeccable strike quality, and the use of well-maintained dies rather than discarded or mismatched ones. Yet regardless of its origins, the coin's physical existence cannot be denied, as it has been graded and authenticated by leading third-party grading services, cementing its status as a legitimate mint product and not an aftermarket fabrication. And following its initial discovery, the coin passed through several private collections, with its most recent public valuation pegging its worth at approximately $10 million. A figure driven not only by its uniqueness and unexplained origin but also by intense demand from high-profile collectors seeking singular trophies for their collections, and much like the legendary 1974 aluminum cent or the 1809 misaligned Liberty Head 1 cent, this 2002 mule cent is seen not merely as a collectible but as a conversation piece, a numismatic mystery, and a piece of modern American mint history that challenges what collectors believed possible from modern coining operations, and as public fascination with mint errors and modern rarities continues to grow, fueled by social media, numismatic forums, and viral discoveries, the potential for this coin's value to increase further remains high, as museums, private investors, and even hedge funds increasingly view such tangible, ultra-rare collectibles as both prestige assets and alternative investments, positioning the 2002 mule cent as not just a historic error but a contemporary icon in the world of numismatics. And what makes its story even more thrilling is the lingering possibility that somewhere in circulation or hidden within unsearched penny rolls, another example might exist, waiting to be discovered by a sharp-eyed collector. And though no other specimen has yet been found despite 2 decades of searching, this tantalizing potential fuels ongoing interest and speculation, keeping the legend of the 2002 mule cent alive and ensuring that every modern cent examined by a curious collector carries with it the faint hope of uncovering the next multimillion-dollar mistake. And so, as we reflect on the stories of these 4 extraordinary coins, the 1984 1-cent coin worth $20 million, famed for its double-die errors and historical appeal, the legendary 1809 misaligned Liberty Head cent worth a staggering $110 million, a true relic of early American minting history, the enigmatic 1974 aluminum cent estimated at $30 million, symbolizing a lost experiment in alternative metals and shrouded in legal controversy, and finally, the one-of-a-kind 2002 mule cent, a modern-day minting anomaly valued at $10 million that continues to baffle experts and inspire treasure hunters. We see how error coins, historical artifacts, and unexpected mistakes can transform the most ordinary of objects into symbols of fortune, history, and mystery, and each of these coins, in their own unique ways, serve as enduring reminders that the smallest items can sometimes carry the greatest stories, commanding awe, fascination, and monumental financial value in equal measure. And as collectors continue their endless search for the next great discovery, these legendary cents stand as numismatic giants forever, redefining the value of a simple penny.